Bibles to the book of Daniel. Daniel chapter 3. As you recall, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah were all taken into captivity. They refused to obey the king's orders, but in doing so, they ended up being exalted because they listened to God, and what they did was shown to be right and a benefit to others. Remember last week we talked about the king's dream of had a dream where he saw the statue and he didn't know what it was. Only Daniel was able to interpret it, and that was all good. And so Daniel became second in the kingdom as the chief advisor to King Nebuchadnezzar, and Daniel promoted Hananiah, Mishael, and Hazael, who were renamed Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, to prominent positions in the kingdom as well, and that was all good. But the king is still the king. And so when you come to chapter 3, the king decided, well, you know that dream I had about that statue? Let's make it actually happen. So rather than listen to what the advice of Daniel was of the dream, and that statue represented kingdoms are going to come after Nebuchadnezzar until finally Jesus Christ came, which was part of that dream as well, Nebuchadnezzar decided to build a gigantic golden statue. And his other advisors said, hey, you know what we should do with this cool statue we just built? We should make it so that when anyone ever hears any music, they bow down and worship the statue of you, Nebuchadnezzar, because you're the greatest king that Babylon has ever had. And Nebuchadnezzar said, yeah, I like that. Okay, from now on, anytime the trumpets blow, everybody bows down to me. So he thought that was pretty cool, and set up a statue. In fact, and of course the advisor said, well, you know, you have to have a punishment if people don't do it. And he said, why don't you throw them into the fiery furnace? And the king says, sounds good. And of course, this was all a ruse because the advisors that came up with this wonderful program hated Daniel's companions, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and he knew that they would never bow down to a statue or worship it because they worship God. And the whole idea was to try to get rid of them. Later on, they're going to try to get rid of Daniel as well in the same way. But here's what happened in Daniel chapter 3. So the trumpets blew, the statue was set up, and Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego stood there while everybody else bowed down. So the king's not a happy camper, and here we go. Furious with rage, Nebuchadnezzar summoned Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So these men were brought before the king. And Nebuchadnezzar said to them, is it true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you do not serve my gods or worship the image of gold I have set up? Now, when you hear the sound of the horn, the flute, the zither, the lyre, the harp, the pipes, and all kinds of music, if you are ready to fall down and worship the image I made, very good. But if you do not worship it, you will be thrown immediately into the blazing furnace. Then what God will be able to rescue you from my hand? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you in this matter. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to save us from it, and he will rescue us from your hand, O king. But even if he does not, we want you to know, O king, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold that you have set up. Well, if you recall the rest of the story, they did throw them into the fiery furnace. The guys who were throwing them in got burned up. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego just kind of walked right into the furnace. The guys who were throwing them in burned. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego actually stood in the furnace. And the king came and said, how can they be standing in there? And then he looked at himself, wait, didn't we throw 3 men in the furnace? How come I see 4 in the furnace? And one of them looks like the Son of God. And he was overwhelmed, and he thought, what in the world is going on? And they came forth unscathed. All right, we're really not going to talk about that. Oh, we're going to jump to Mark chapter 3. Mark chapter 3 is one that you know well. Mark chapter 3, beginning in verse 13. It says, Jesus went up on a mountainside and called to himself those he wanted. And they came to him. And he appointed 12, designating them as apostles, that they might be with him, and that he might send them out to preach, to have authority, to drive out demons. These are their names: Peter, James, his brother, and those two of the apostles there. Today in the Daniel plan, I want to talk about one of the most important things, and that is friends. Friends are important. There's an outline on the back of your bulletin. The importance of getting together and to support each other along the way. The first time God said anything negative about his creation and the world was, it's not good for people to be alone. It's not good for man to be alone, and so he created a helper for him suitable. Being alone is when you get in trouble, let's face it. You know, when you leave the kids home alone, that's when they decide to do something you would never do on your own. When, you know, I got away from college for the first time, that's when I decided to do everything I never did previous. So what is it when all of a sudden we're by ourselves and have freedom that we choose to do something stupid? Part of it is we get connected with the wrong groups of people. Friendships make all the difference. Daniel had his friends, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Those guys were there to support them, to encourage each other along the way. They prayed with each other. They helped each other. I think I have many blanks there. Fill in the blanks. Yeah, so Daniel and his friends, they were there to support each other and give each other encouragement while they were in this new place. That support helped them to get through, to stay faithful. So support and encouragement, they were able to pray together and pray for each other. They were able to inspire each other's faith so that they would remain strong in a foreign land with a faith and in a place where there were religions they didn't understand. And they were able to see a victory together because they were there to support each other. They remained faithful. They stood up to do the right thing, and God blessed them in an amazing way, delivering them from the fiery furnace. And that's why it's included in the scriptures for the miracles that happened. And that happens to us as well. If we have the right people around us, that's why God gave us the gift of the church, to encourage each other, to see blessings together, to help us stay strong and faithful together. Without that, we have troubles. The group you get involved with determines often who you turn out to be. When I went away to college, the first group that took me in was a group of kids that didn't believe in studying, or instead believed that the purpose of college was to party hardy, to get plastered, and to skip classes. And so my first year was pretty much a disaster. Fortunately, I woke up along the way and found the way through it. And got turned around again. But, you know, why is it we fall to other people's? I had a best friend growing up. His name was Billy. Me and Billy, ever since I had moved to Belladonna Drive, which is Pittsburgh, Lynchhome, he was my neighbor. We just hung out every single day. We grew up together, and we just always had fun. He was a great guy. Then I went to college. He was 1 year younger than me. But in 1 year that I had gone away to college, I got involved in the wrong things, and so did he. He got involved in drugs and alcohol and in a gang that decided to break into people's houses. And in 1 year, you know, all this good stuff just went out the window. Billy never got turned around from that. Billy died when he was 53 years old because of the way he had abused his body over those past 40-some years since we had left each other. And it's sad. He had been in prison 3 times for the choices he had made. And it's like, how do we fall? So I wrote down gangs, cliques, and friends and teams. And when I look at teams, and teams have a lot of good and wonderful benefits, and you know, that it's important to be a part of a team is wonderful, but teams are groups that really want to use me, right? A team is a group that wants to use you. They want to discover what talent you have that benefits the team. And as long as you are a benefit to the team, then you're a good part of the team, and you are loved and welcomed, and all is good. But as soon as you're no longer a benefit to the team, well, then you slowly get moved away. Then there's gangs. And gangs are groups you get a hold of who want to abuse you. So teams want to use you, gangs want to abuse you. They want to get you to justify the things they want to do. And so gangs are groups, and they want to encourage you to do the wrong thing. And they want you to say, you know, what they're doing is okay. And the more people that are doing what's wrong, abusing people, excluding people, hurting people, then they feel better about themselves. And then there's cliques. And cliques are people who they just want to pretty much focus on, as long as you think like me, we're all good. If you don't think like me, you're out. So they want to be people who are just like me, or people they want me to be just like them. And they don't want to listen to anybody else's advice. They don't want to hear any other point of view. These are basically Democrats or Republicans. But there are groups of people that decide, you know, my way's right, and you're an idiot if you don't agree with me. And you see it all the time. And we got to be really careful when people come up in their little cliques, and their focus is only to, well, as long as you agree with what I agree with, you're good. Otherwise, you're a terrible person. You're excluded from my group. And then, of course, there's friends. Here's the truth: is, you know, the Scripture said in 1 Corinthians 15:33, don't be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. Bad company corrupts good character. You know, we like to think, well, I'm going to be a great influence on my friends. Most of the time, you end up not being a good influence on their friends. Unfortunately, most often, they become a good influence on you. And so it's so important that you surround yourself with the people who are going to help you along the way, who are going to help you do the right things and make the right choices. That's why our koinonia is so important. Koinonia means Christian fellowship. That's why we have Bible study groups, the importance of having friends who encourage you along the way. The people you hang with are the people you will end up being like. You hang around with intelligent people, you hang around with healthy people, you hang around with joyful people, with people who worship God and celebrate God, with people who focus on truth and wanting to do the right things, on people who want to help and encourage others. You're going to be that kind of person. You hang around with people who are depressed, who are discouraging, or people who are bullies, or just want to hate, or want to focus on hurting and excluding people. You're going to end up being just like them. The people you're with will either lead to your success in life or your failure in life. They'll either keep you faithful, or you'll find yourself floundering. So who are you going to surround yourself with? It's so important that you have friends. Take us back to the old Friends thing. I should have had Gary play it for us. Friends, of course, are those who are there to encourage us along the way. Support you as iron sharpens iron, the Scripture says. So do a friend and sharpens a friend. That's what we're supposed to be. That's why God gave us the church. That's why I encourage you to be a part of a small group, so that you can have friends. And the Daniel plan, the important part of having others to go through the plan with, to keep each other faithful, to have prayer partners, to have athletic partners. I've always been a kind of loner in my working outs and in my running. I'm one of those losers who just, you know, I'll run my 10 miles or my 20 miles and just not think want anybody else with me. I'll go to the gym all by myself. But you know, the truth is, I sometimes am jealous of Nancy, because she has, you know, these 3 best friends who, when she goes running, they always come with her, and they just chit-chat and wobble and talk the whole time, you know. Sure, I can run faster than them. But, you know, they have fellowship and friendship, and me, I just have whatever book I'm listening to right now, The History of Egypt, I'm listening to while I run. Who cares? It's kind of nice to have somebody, have a friend, have a buddy to work out with, to share life with, a prayer partner to pray with you, a Bible study group to learn together with, somebody to ask questions to. You know, our Bible study groups are so awesome. And when I get together on Wednesday morning with a group, when I get together our group on Sunday morning, just the friendship, the fellowship that we share means so much. Because we support each other, we encourage each other, we ask questions together. You read something in the Bible and you say, you know, I don't get that. Or we come across something that in life we're able to talk to each other and pray. And if you didn't have that, then where do you turn? You turn to yourself. And when you're left on your own devices, you generally choose to get depressed about it, to be overwhelmed about it. to not be sure where to go, or what's right, or what's wrong, or how to interpret something. And so that's why God gives us the gift of each other and the gift of others. We're there to carry each other's burdens and thus fulfill the law of God. That's what Galatians 6:2 said. That's why we're here. And of course, our example in all this is always Jesus. That's what he did. That's why I had Mark. We looked at chapter 3 of Mark, where Jesus chooses his 12. Why did he choose a group? Jesus could have saved the world without having a group of disciples. But the gift of encouragement for each other. And then after he rose again from the dead, and he gave the gift of the church, the opportunity to encourage each other along the way so that they could be a stronger witness. Because they knew that left on their own devices, people would fall apart. Peter would have been lost after Jesus was crucified. He had kind of gotten away from the group, if you recall. He was away from the disciples. He had been Mr. Strong Guy, but then he kind of wandered a little bit, and when push came to shove, he didn't see any of his buddies around him, and he didn't have any support, and so he fell. And he thought he was lost. But his brothers and sisters came alongside and took him back in. And Jesus came along in the resurrection and said, "Yo, Peter, you messed up. But it's all right. You love me, right? I love you too. Let's get things fixed. Let's keep going." That's what we're here to do for each other. Those who aren't your friends will desert you when you do something wrong, when you don't follow the path. Friends are there to support each other, to forgive each other, to help each other along the way. So in the daily plan, as far as doing your exercises up there, I encourage you to get a friend to do it with, and to be a family. We need to be there. So if you're not a part of a small group, I encourage you to join one. They're always listed in our bulletin. And me, or find a group to pray with, to study with, to work out with, to learn who God wants you to be together. And in all this, the best thing of all is Proverbs 18:24. One who has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks even closer than a brother. Who is that friend, of course? Jesus said in John 15:15, "I call you my friends." It's pretty cool to think that God himself says, "I want you to be my friend. I choose you to be my friend." That means I'm going to be there with you. I'll be there to listen to your stories. I'll be there to pick you up when you fall down. Other people will run away from you when you say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing. A friend doesn't do that. I will be there for you. So even when others might desert us, he says, "I never will. I'll walk with you through the good times. I'll be there with you through the bad times." He's a friend who can always hold on to. So I encourage you to choose Jesus as your bestie best, and to encourage others as we grow together. Let's pray right now. Lord Jesus, thank you. Thank you for the gift of friendship.